Let's fight, guys. Let's fight. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. We apologize. Too many technical difficulties to overcome this evening. We apologize, folks. We apologize. Welcome in the ring. Welcome in the ring. Welcome, 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 welcome. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome in the ring, beautiful folks. Quite a late start tonight. Quite a late start this evening, folks, but we apologize. Some technical difficulties we have to overcome. Yet we are here because of you folks. We are fired up if you guys are, and we are ready to go. Of course, no time to waste, no time to lose. Coming up, we're talking about Sue. Coming up, we're talking about some other issues, and we have Khemraj Ramjattan already in studio. He is going to be joining us shortly, folks. But right off the bat, no time to waste, no time to lose. Share the live stream, guys, wherever you are. Do us that big favor. Share the broadcast. We apologize. Share the broadcast, folks. We are happy that you guys are here with us. We're fired up, folks, and we are ready to go, and we hope that you guys are as well. Good to have each and every one of you here. Wherever you guys are joining us from around the world, guys, we're going to still have a go at it. We are going to still have a go at it because we got a lot of issues to discuss, folks. Coming up, as we said, Khemraj Ramjattan is going to be joining us. Coming up, guys, the one and only Pace and Power, Boots and Ground. We apologize. We apologize, guys. Technical difficulties had to be overcome, but we are happy that we're here nonetheless with you folks, fired up and ready to go. We're ensuring very quickly we're where we need to be, guys. We're ready if you guys are ready to have a go at it. Good to see you guys wherever you folks are joining us from around the world. We are so happy that you folks are with us tonight. This is where we're beginning our program from folks around the world. That's where we're picking up the broadcast from this evening, and we're so privileged that each and every one of you guys, you are here with us, and we're ensuring we are about ready to go, and we trust that you guys are as well. Fired up at our end, folks, ready to go. Couldn't ask for more, couldn't ask for better audience. We're happy we were able to overcome some of the earlier challenges we had. Quite a late start, but we're going to have a go at it nonetheless. Welcome in the ring wherever you folks are joining us from this evening, wherever you guys are joining us from. We say welcome in the ring to each and every one of you beautiful people. Welcome in the ring. Welcome. Fired up, guys. Ready to go, and we said we're beginning from around the world. Here are some of the things we're covering very quickly, folks. That very historic case in the United States of America, Roe v. Wade, has been overturned by the Supreme Court. And if you guys have been following, for instance, if you guys have been following our podcast today, we brought live to you the statement of the American president, Joseph Biden, as he said, it was a sad time for him. He believed that the Supreme Court got it wrong in terms of overturning Roe v. Wade. And this case, folks, is a case that gives women a constitutional right. Want to get it right. Want to get my phrasing just right. A constitutional right, they tell us. To do what? To do what, folks? It's a constitutional, a landmark overturning of the 1973 Roe versus Wade case, which recognized a woman's constitutional right to an abortion and legalized it nationwide. And Joe Biden came on. He said it was a very sad day for him in terms of this turn of events in the United States of America, but he was going to do all of what is in his power to continue to protect women's rights. That's what's happening on the international front. Addition to that, we have some information. We had said this about 2 days ago. We told you what some of the internal polling was saying, that it looked very likely that Baroness Patricia Scotland was going to hold on for a second term as the Commonwealth Secretary General, and that's the official information we have coming out of Rwanda. There's the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting happening there currently. And folks, and Baroness Patricia Scotland, we are able to confirm this evening, has been able to fend off a challenge there from two other persons. One, the Foreign Affairs Minister of Jamaica. She was able to fend off those challengers to hold on for yet another term as the Commonwealth Secretary General. So that's how that is going on that front, folks. No time to lose this evening. Look what we saw also internationally. You think you have some problems, but Erica Libri is sexually attracted to a fence. Folks, you think you got problems in this life? She says she loves it as a companion. And this is a woman who has been married to the Eiffel Tower. She has an attraction to inanimate objects. Believe it or not. And you think you got problems? Meet Erica Libri, attracted to a fence sexually. Folks, and we saw this we picked this up from the New York Post. She's been married in the past, as we said, to the Eiffel Tower. Well, we wish her the best. You think you got problems in this life? You think you got problems? Moving on, folks. Closer to home in Grenada. We saw this last evening as we came off here. We were following the elections in Grenada. And the Grenadians, folks, they have elected a 44-year-old attorney at law, like our guest, an attorney at law, 44 years old. They have elected him to be their next prime minister, beating out Kit Mitchell, who has been there for about 19 years, and another Mitchell is now taking over in this new prime minister, Dickon Mitchell. From one Mitchell to the next, we're told, we advise there are no family relations, folks, no family relations, spiraling crime. This is something we're tracking locally, folks, and you know we like to report it to you folks. Those guys on the other side promised us a crime prevention plan. Not so much so. We don't see that at all. And look at what we saw in the courts today. This young man has been jailed for 2 years. Sherman Ken of Caneville in Grove there, folks. Apologies, Caneville in Grove. But some of the comments coming out of the magistrate in this case, we thought was quite telling. Some of the comments coming out from magistrate Leron Daly. See, the magistrate Leron Daly in this case, in giving the sentence to Mr. Sherman Ken, this 2-year sentence for snatching this chain, the pendant alone was worth $28,000. The magistrate said, after taking into consideration Mr. Sherman Ken's plea and the prevalence of crime, that phrase caught us. The magistrate, Leron Daly, is acknowledging the prevalence of crime. Don't take our word for it. Magistrate Leron Daly says the prevalence of crime in the society currently. He wanted to send a very strong message that this kind of deviant behavior will not be condoned, and as a result of that, sentence Sherman Ken to 2 years in jail for snatching a woman's chain. Yep. Very, very strong signal, folks. Moving on very quickly in the fight card. Quickly, swiftly, you guys know, Ghana is not a real place. Ghana is not a real place, and here is why. Here is why we tell you that. You know, had it not been for the intervention of the folks at the Ghana National Bureau of Standards, they who always do fantastic work. I had an issue a few years back, took it to those guys, and they came through. The Ghana Bureau of Standards. They have seized, folks, several items that would have ended up in your homes and my home, perhaps even. They have destroyed several pieces of substandard electrical fitting. Right? And an agency like this is very, very important in terms of consumer satisfaction, consumer rights, and all of those other things, and executing its mandate there. The report we have suggests they would have seized over 5,000 pieces of substandard electrical fitting that would have ended up in one of our homes. Believe it or not, yep, it's not a real place. Can you imagine people literally selling this stuff, substandard? They didn't expire, you know. They were on shelves waiting to be sold when the Ghana Bureau of Standards, GNBS, swooped down and did what they had to do, folks. Moving on very quickly, the guys are telling us, coming soon, beginning Monday. If you got old car, old stove, derelict stuff on the carpet, them boys coming. Right, them boys coming. Some of them derelict too, so they might get carried away. Your old car, old stove, red women, derelict stuff on your carpet. They can push it away. The guys will fetch it away. You cannot say, folks, you cannot say you have not been advised. Tanya Cummins, hoping you got some derelict stuff on your property. Lois Denny, Dan Fordyce, Wendy, Shondell Moses, Winston Kilkenny. Hope you all don't have derelict stuff on your properties because you know it's going to go missing. Folks, coming up, we already have him here. Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan is going to be joining us. Moving through the fight card so he can come very quickly. Oil and gas. We're seeing a lot of trouble here. A lot of trouble. Them boys said they were going to renegotiate the 2016 production sharing agreement. Not so much. They said they're going to make it great again. Today, nothing. No can do it. Here's what we're seeing in the oil and gas sector. We are being told, folks, we are being told that ExxonMobil alone, the admin cost of ExxonMobil, which is about $36 billion currently, it is double Ghana's wage bill. Wages paid public servants and other folks from our wage bill. It's double that. The wage bill is about 10.6 billion right now. So you can see what we're talking about. Could you imagine that just the admin cost, the administrative cost for ExxonMobil is double what we're paying public service? And you know the government, the government of the day, whichever government it is the largest employer of folks in this country. Right? So when ExxonMobil admin bill, alone is doubling, you see where we are. You see where we are. Remember I said they can come back and they can renegotiate. They can do it better. They are the deal makers. But y'all see where we're there. Y'all see where we're there. That's it on the oil and gas front, folks. We are moving down. I seen kosher. We're moving down. Look what we saw here, folks. Look what we saw, for instance, at the GCCI. And some of this is kind of a little precocious for us because the GCCI, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, they have now, folks, they have now joined the bandwagons. They have now joined the bandwagons. And they are now saying this company, Rams Logistics, right? They're saying that the authorities got to really and truly guard against companies like this using the front man phenomenon. At one point when we were reading this press statement, we couldn't decide whether they're talking about Rams Logistics or they're talking about Suget. If we're talking about using front men. We don't know really and truly what they were speaking about. Rams Logistics or Suget. And folks, we promised this evening, even though we're having a very truncated program, in the interest of time, we still wanted to come on. We had several challenges behind the scenes and give you a sense of what transpired during the day. Very, very, very privileged to have with me this evening the one and only, Mr. Khemraj Ramjattan. So, very good evening and welcome to the program. How are you doing?
I am doing all right, and I really, really got concerned. I thought it's in the ring that you got knocked out.
No, we had some real technical challenge at the back here. I think we've managed to overcome them, and here we are, always willing to serve the people. Khemraj, last weekend we had that, I think an atomic bomb of some revelations. They're coming out of Vice News, a very reputable news organization around the world. Some very, very damning revelations coming out of that news entity there. We had a subsequent press conference by the Vice President. He was front and center of that mini documentary by Vice News, which aired on Showtime. I'm certain by now you've had a chance to look at some of that. What are your thoughts, sir? What are your thoughts? Suget?
Well, my thoughts are clearly evident on what was the outcome of that interview. Our Vice President has indulged in a lot of abominable activities, abhorrent activities. And this fella goes around the country with an aura of invincibility. That is what he does because of the fact that he has been allowed to do it by that set of jagabats that now govern the PPP. They have allowed him to be all important. Oil, aeronautics, investment, economics, politics, everything, It's like that football sketch that we saw in Stabrook News today, where he is left back, right back, center forward, goalkeeper, and even the referee. And so it is created by the PPP that has created that monster, and it is that monster now that is getting reckless, because there are blind spots in relation to power. Power can mislead insofar as it prevents people from thinking that we are breaching the rules. And he now gone and get the middleman there, that fella called Su, and then invites the man even at his house, when he was telling people in America that y'all are rowing about investments and so on. Y'all want to personalize the thing. Y'all must take the thing to go invest. The one-stop shop. But he now brings the people to his house and tell the people, here, Sue gonna look after the agreement. I gonna do the government side of the thing. Here, man, what you think happening there? The thing is with corruption all over it. And he could go and say that he's the Teflon man, that it will not affect him. But I know that people inside of the PPP now realize that this cult personality that he wants to build around Jagdeo, just like how Putin has done it in Moscow. That's the place that he got training in. He knows the system very well out of Moscow. And that is what he's doing here. And you got a set of people who just go and worship him. Oh, he's a genius. This fella's knowledge about politics and economics is encyclopedic. If you see the crap they talk about this fella. And that is why now, with this aura and the leeway that he is given, you're certainly going to have that creature that is now turning out to be a monster for our investment prospects, our country. And let me tell you something, it will have a disastrous effect for all persons working in public services and so on. Because they're going to say, if that fella could do that kind of thing, right now, inside of America, yes, can't somebody and get another Sue and sell it, to fast track an investment or something under my portfolio function, I could arrange. And I'm going to tell Sue, look after the agreement, and I'm going to look after the bureaucratic side of things. That is how corruption is built. And that is the construct of it. And that is what kills country like Guyana. Now that we have created a massive investment stream, a massive revenue stream because we signed that production agreement. Guyana is like the honeypot of the whole of South America, the whole of Americas right now. And when people are now coming in here, you got a vice president walking out and saying that you're going to deal with that section, I'm going to deal with this section, and we're going to meet up again. The thing stinks to high heavens. As a matter of fact, as the Alliance for Change is called, there should be an international independent probe into this thing.
Khemraj, we have that moment that is one of the high points of that mini documentary, Guyana for Sale by the Vice News and Showtime. And I want you to give the viewers a sense, maybe break it down for them. When they view this, what are they looking at here? Let's take a look at that.
We get all this. Sue deals with all the agreements.
Give me up in a sec.
I understand. The thing is that my thing is I am in government.
I understand.
So I assist from government side.
I know.
That's it.
Sue interjected, telling us this wasn't the place to talk about the bribe.
因為佢由頭都係啦，即係我要知道，即係啲錢係入出佢嗰度先得㗎。如果唔係，
Let me see if I get that one more time right from the top.
We get all this. Sue deals with all the agreements. I don't.
I understand.
The thing is that my thing is I am in government.
I understand.
So I assist from government side.
I know.
That's it.
Sue interjected, telling us this wasn't the place to talk about the bribe.
因為佢由頭都係啦，即係我要知道，即係啲錢係入出佢嗰度先得㗎。如果唔係，
Khemraj?
It's a shame. It's, as I said, stink to high heavens. Let me see my mic.
You may have to mute one.
Yeah. You hearing me now?
You may have to mute one of the devices. I notice you may have two on. You may have to mute one of them.
Are you hearing me?
We're still getting the feedback. You might even have to, let me see if I can take you out of one of them. This might be the one. Sorry. You might need to sign out from one so we don't get the feedback.
Okay. But we're still getting a feedback. I don't understand what's happening here.
You may have to sign out of one of the devices. I notice you may have two signed in. All right, we're going to have that back in just a second. But again, a part of that moment, we saw there left a lot of people very, very startled.
We get all this. Sue deals with all the agreements. I don't.
I understand. I understand.
The thing is that my thing is that I'm in government.
I understand.
So I assist from government side. That's it.
Sue interjected, telling us this wasn't the place to talk about the bribe.
因為佢由頭都係啦，即係我要知道，即係啲錢係入咗佢嗰度先得㗎。如果唔係，
Khemraj.
Yeah, that part of it reveals exactly what I'm talking about. You see, if there was genuineness and authenticity about, having a conversation with an investor that is interested, you would have had the conversation going on. But what is it that you're coming here to invest in? Could you tell us? Is it aeronautics? Or what is it? But no, it is a short discussion, obviously, to let the investor know that this middleman is the man that I'm dealing with. You understand? Because in genuine transactions, even if you want to know as a vice president what it is that people want to deal with, you would go on to find out so much. Where from China are you? Have you business there? What is the nature of the business? How big is the business? Do you have any photographs to show me that you have a big factory in Guangzhou or whatever the place, Peking or where it is? But nothing of the sort. It was done to measure up that fella Sue, so that probably, lots more monies could have been involved and all of that. The thing is absolute, wretched. And this fella, Jagdeo, who should not be there, as I have argued on several other programs, because having served his 2 terms, he should go on pasture. Just like Obama and Bill Clinton and George Bush. We took that constitutional provision of 2 terms and no more from the American Constitution. And all the conventions and the unwritten code about 2 terms and more mean that you can't come back as a vice president, nor even an advisor. But this man comes as the president himself. He goes and do his one-off press conferences telling people that we're going to give you flood relievers from next week. We're going to do this. We're going to make the gas to shore project. We are going to have, we are not going to have a commission of inquiry. And then the president comes and has to say that we're going to have a commission of inquiry as if he's the boss. In that kind of 2-term limit constitutional arrangement, he shouldn't be there. And look, now that he is there, look what he is doing. Sue. Well, he soup on himself, quite frankly. It is a real terrible situation. And I am hoping that all those PPP-ites inside of that central committee room at Freedom House, they got the balls to tell him to go like a private citizen, as he had told Janet Jagan. It's time that you go. And especially Irfan Ali, he must tell him that this is totally rotten. You have bring disrepute and scandal to my government by getting it like that. But this country, I am trying to carry all this line here now, especially in the quarters like Berbice and so on. And a lot of them shame. They don't want to talk. They say, oh God, man, I don't know why you do that. Why you gonna do that? I ask people, I say, but what do you think he been doing? And then they tell me. And I said, I'm glad that you think like that. But the PPP itself might not want to think like that. And a lot of people I see, and I noticed my good friend Anil Nananal trying to come and soften up the situation.
Yeah. So let's talk about just that. While we have seen some persons come forward and try to defend the indefensible, some of the upper echelons in the PPP have remained very, very silent.
Yeah, well, they feel shame. It is not a nice thing. And they know the clout that this creature has. He is the one that expelled me from that party, you know. He is the one that shelved Ralph Ramkaran, that caused Ralph now to leave the PPP after generations of Ramkarans being in it. He is the one that shelved Moses Nagamutu. This is what you call the classic Putin. He is obviously authoritarian and autocratic, and he has made the Jaganite PPP into a Jagdewite PPP, and he got a set of Jagabats around him who's simply going to go and say, yes, what else could I do? And Surhawe is the East Indian word I use all the time. That is what he has done. And then he now, because of, he wants not to be constrained by the rules of the game, he could now go and do his thing with Sue and all of them, as the Vice News has figured out. And it is a wrong thing for Guyanese not to show their outrage. Lots more Guyanese must show their outrage, because this is bad governance. Democracy got two components to it: winning an elections free and fair and credible, and secondly, thereafter, governance. We had an ugly period. It is in the courts. Of course, the declarer says that the PPP has won. So the PPP has a function now, and a God-given bounden duty and a constitutional duty to ensure that there is good governance. And then you're going to get now a fella saying, you look after the agreements. That man going to look after, I going to look after. And he obviously was about to lie to the people when the lady asked you, a fella named Sue. When you have cross-examined, like I have done in the courts of law for over 30 years, and a question like that stumps somebody, you know that person would have failed all the polygraph tests. Sue? Which Sue? Oh, Sue. Oh, yeah, Sue. Then he's Sue-souping himself. You know what I mean? It is a shame. He should come out of that government now. Get his behind out of it, because he's worth nothing. He's going to destroy Irfan Ali's administration. And I am hoping that people like Anthony and the ones that got some integrity in that party, Vindi Prasad, and a number of...
I haven't heard anything from Vindi Prasad.
Yeah?
I haven't heard anything from Vindi Prasad. She's very quiet.
Yeah, they're silent. I mean, they have been silent in the wrong times all the time. I remember when somebody said dildo and so on, and a parliamentarian, a female parliamentarian for the afternoon, they didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
And these are, you got to have the courage, like I had, to tell him. I mean, I used to find a lot of corruption in those days, in that period, that I used to even be a columnist for Stabrook News. And we used to write about it. And you know what a man come and tell me? That here, you are leaking information to the American press and the Stabrook News. And then he arranged a kangaroo court to get me out and expel me from the party. But that is what he wants. He does not like to have rivalries that are, positive and a good thing for a political party. No, he cut your throat like Herod. Herod in biblical times, that is what he does.
Yep. Talking about the Americans, post Sugate and the release of that mini documentary on Sunday, the American Embassy put out a statement. Just last year, they were asking for the PPP to initiate anti-corruption initiatives on International Anti-Corruption Day. And on Monday, I think it was, they put out a statement talking about upholding the tenets of anti-corruption work and so on, and the rule of law, and having a level playing field for investors. They put out a statement. What is the American telling us?
Oh, you gotta, as I think you had said, that Barnum had said, and a number of people have said, if you got any modicum of intelligence, it is not explicitly what is written, but what is in between those lines.
Yeah.
And remember, we are talking to diplomats.
Yeah.
We are not talking to the run-of-the-mill politicians like myself and you and Jack Dale and so on. So they put it beautifully, and it meant plenty. It is pregnant with a lot of criticism those 5 or 6 sentences that the American ambassador came out with, the embassy. And it is in truth because they know of this government when it was under Jagdeo as president, and now that he has come back and serving a 3rd term, as it were.
Correct.
They know that that is at the hallmark, because during that 2005 right up to 2011 period and so on, and even earlier, so many things that were bad in the governance arrangement in Guyana. As a matter of fact, you know, the AFC got a lot of kudos for its anti-crusade, the crusade against corruption, the anti-corruption crusade. And it was plenty. A lot of them got all their visas and so on taken away, you know. And a lot of them got rich because of what they did then. You know, murders all over the place too.
Khemraj, just to be specific, that statement out of the U.S. Embassy read that the U.S. has long been an advocate of anti-corruption and the rule of law in Guyana, as well as a free press consistent with Guyana's laws. Accountability is the soundest approach to maintain confidence in government and a level playing field for all investors.
Well, I hope that our president understands what the Americans are telling him. In diplomatic language, you could not have been clearer that make at least a commission of inquiry and hold this vice president accountable. That is what they're telling Irfan Ali. That is what they're telling this government. And if Irfan Ali, because probably, let's say, graduate of IFLOT and whatever, might not understand it, he should go to Hugh Todd or go to some senior ranking member of the PPP. Donald Ramutar will know about that. I am certain people like Donald Ramutar would appreciate this cult personality that Jagdeo is trying to create. But somehow they have lost their sense of courage and their sense of principle to pull back the party away from him. You know? And, you know, that is what I used to tell them, that you allow Jagdeo to do what he wants, he's going to run roughshod and riot over all of you. And it has turned out to be exactly that. Exactly that has happened. So if for the sake of our country, for the sake of the investments, for the sake of the future of this country, it is necessary, just like how, you know, you would have it in any other liberal democratic order, an investigation carried out, even if it's an internal investigation. And at the appropriate time, knowing very well that we got 2 terms or no more, that the president, Irfan Ali, could say, BJ, just take a turn. Take the right turn, like the AFC. Take right turns. Go along your way. Oh, yes, you could be at the party. Go at Freedom House. Don't come here. Don't go and meet investors. We want to meet investors for. We're spending over $500 million on Go Invest. More than that, we give Go Invest. That's the place people should go. And in any event, why they got to come and talk to you about investment? Was it a construction thing that the man was talking about? Then you got to go talk to, who is the minister, Iwan Elsil or somebody.
Yeah. They're not in that perhaps too.
Or in there or whatever. But in there, ain't gonna get it time. He got time for go put police on Starbuck News.
That's not a story that the US might have hinted in. That's talking about the free press.
I think the Americans are talking about the free press. They're talking about Vice News more than what in there do. But lesser secondarily, they're talking about that too. Everything. These people know how to condense it and put it in diplomatic language and say, well, you deal with it there. And you don't deal with it, we're going to deal with you. And I am very happy that the Americans came out. The Americans have always had an interest in Guyana. They got big investment via Exxon here. They got other people too that are getting very angry about exactly what came out of that interview. It does seem, and I am not critical of Chinese investors. Chinese investors have a place to be in Guyana too. But if you got a vice president talking to a middleman to ensure that Chinese only get a contract, the Americans are going to get vexed. They're going to say that through corruption, you're bringing in only Chinese and you're blocking the Americans. What happened to we Americans? That is why they talk about a level playing field. No, the Americans know what was going on here.
Yeah.
And that is why we now have to put the pressure on this fella. Let him go. Let him go. And not go and do press conferences, sit down there 2-3 hours, yabbling and yapping and talking a whole set of nonsense. He has absolutely no authority to do that. But he's been, purportedly given this authority. And that is why where we are. It is a nonsensical situation. We must ensure that the outrage continue until he is removed.
Khemraj, back at that press conference, he said, he felt hurt by what Su has done. Su is his friend. He knows Su a very long time and all of that. But he isn't going to press any criminal charges. He's going to pursue some civil litigation. And he said he's looking to throw Su out. Look at some of that. Let's play some of that for those persons who may not have had a chance to see this bit of, as yet, of that press conference held recently.
Coming back now to
Give me a sec.
what actions I'll take. I made it clear that if
Quite interesting.
what he
Quite interesting.
said in his statement was not accurate, then I take legal action. The people who is ripped off can take criminal action. I'm going to take reputational action. I'm going to sue him. And I made it clear, I think it was Marcel who asked me whether he'd be a tenant of mine if I find out that he's actually said some of these things. And I said, once that comes out to the contrary, no longer. And I'm looking to him to throw him out, looking for him. Can't find him so far, but as soon as I find him, this will happen. And so that is all I wanted.
Can we take Mr. Jagdeo seriously? He's looking for Su and can't find him.
He's looking very pathetic there. Pathetic. And almost like a pathological liar. He carries on and said that I am going to put the man out. The man done gone out from his house. The man, they pay up the rent up to the May month. What you expect the man for the any house? What you trying to bamboozle and dazzle with bullshit Guyanese public? That is what that fella is trying to do. That is what he has always tried to do, though, dazzle with BS. And he's going to say, well, I can't catch the man because the man pay me by up to May 2022 and the man gone. He can't do the man nothing because the man could very well come to a court of law and say how much quantum of money and all kinds of things. He frightened that.
Yeah.
That man could come to court and talk the truth, buddy.
And it's very incidental, perhaps, that this story breaks now and Su rent is paid up to May. Very incidental. Also, Khemraj, you seem to be a reasonably bright person. Su is into fuel, he's into logging, he's into timber, he's now into hotels, but Su renting a house?
The air. When you want to make these arrangements, you just create constructions next to your house. You go and study back the corruption in Moscow. There was a book written about it. How the commissioner of police in Moscow got his policemen collecting bribes for him. And in some of the African countries where there were massive corruption, and southeastern countries and so on, the corruption, it's by Ackerman and Rose. I got the book up there. Ackerman and Rose, Government and Corruption. It has gone so bad that some of these people put in for the middlemen, they put in their middlemen inside of their house and their mansions. Well, he arranged something for rent for the man there next door, So this thing like this going on long since the rentals start. It is a shame. And what can be a redeeming factor about this whole thing is that, come off. Things are not going to remain the same if Jagdeo is there. People are going to always remember this, and it could affect our country. Let him come off the scene. That is what he should have done, and the PPP should have known better. Because what is his purpose in there? You don't have any other bright fella that got an economics degree from relevant universities, UW or UG, not necessarily Patrice Lumumba, but from these other areas or from some place in America, some college in America that could come and help. Oh, come on, you got plenty. But he liked the power. And he don't like the fact that our constitution prohibits him after 2 terms. He wants to create a king. And that is what I was talking about at a discussion forum. One of the lecturers at university was talking about the kingification of certain individuals. I am certain she was talking about Jack Dale. They want to make themselves king. They ain't ever sit on the throne. They're kings behind the throne. They literally control every blasted thing in the country. You want an investment here, you got to talk to he. You want a license here, you got to talk to he. You know, and anybody who feel that they got a little power inside of ministry and so on, you just let me know. Jack, they're going to deal with it. And that is how he says you need to personalize certain things sometimes. Personalize, when you start personalizing, you then break down the guardrails that are called the institutions of democracy. That is the first step towards breaking down the guardrails of democracy, by personalizing, Putinizing, Jagdewizing. That is what it is. But look at what he has gone to personalize. Investment from an investor that goes to his house. Man, it's a shame. He should come out from there.
Yeah. And in his press conference, he said Su has brought other persons to his house too. Other investors.
Other persons, yes. Well, he's trying to make it de minimis, you know, that I invite a lot of people at my house.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to go invest there for.
Yeah.
We got the fellow name, we named the head of Go Invest, Ramsarup.
Peter Ramsarup.
Peter Ramsarup. Why didn't call Peter there with Su and said, Peter, I want you to come to my house. There's a big investor. I am interested for a kind of a preliminary investigation as to what it is. I'll call somebody from the Go Invest and so on. That could have clarified the situation. But no.
Is it incidental, Khemraj? You have all of these investments happening and processing fee and consulting fee and big contracts being given out, Su handling all the arrangements and all that. Is it incidental that 2 years on, the Public Procurement Commission has not been institutionalized, has not been operationalized?
It's not. That is the trouble. That is how, because you want to personalize investment, personalize procurement or whatever it is that these people are coming to provide, whatever the service. And so you block the institution. You take time and deliberate, and then we come down and we name the people. We name them for about 3-4 months now.
Yeah.
And up to now, the president can't do it. And the president had promised that he's going to do it, you know. I believe that Jagdeo has a hand in blocking it, because if he wants institutions to run, he, Jagdeo, being powerful as he is, can tell the president why you're not swearing in the people. That is a good thing that you could have done. But no, he got to your house and talked to Su and an investor. Why doesn't he get the people sworn in? Why doesn't he get the Judicial Service Commission members sworn in? You know? No, but I can go and talk to Su, and then you get catch.
Yeah.
You get catch with your pants down.
Yeah. Well, they came back. They said they're going to, have a resilient economy. Everything was going to be on the up and up, and we know where we are now with the cost of living, inflation rate, and all of that. And now, as you said, he's been caught with his pants down, and perhaps
that brings me to the other issue. They want now to do a commission of inquiry into the events leading up to the 2020 elections, because they want to distract from what their base supporters are trashing them with, this high cost of living. Do you know what this inflation has done to the ordinary cane cutters?
Yeah.
What it has done to the ordinary rice farmers, ground provision providers, and so many, the fishermen and so on. It has eaten up into their income earning capacity,
Yeah.
and it has eaten up into their purchasing power capacity.
Correct.
And so when you used to buy whatever you used to buy, a big basket of goods for the $25,000, now when you go, it's $60,000. I went with my wife the other day to a supermarket coming out, and she rowing 40-50% more is the cost of the same set of things that you used to bring home. And you know, people are sick. Some of them got diabetes, some of them got all kinds of disease. Even the medicines and the medications gone up.
Yeah. Sky
And
high.
I talked to some family members, they say everything gone up.
Yep.
And a lot of them are saying, I'll be done with this PPP. But like I tell them, you know, when I go inside a blasted bottle box and I see the cup, I go run mad again. But a lot of the people, that is why even the trade union movement, GAU today, telling the president, get that Jagabat Sesnarain out of the place. Get him out of the place. He's not managing Gaisuko properly. And we knew, I had said that the only thing Ses know about sugar is how to eat them.
Yeah. I mean, Khemraj, he doesn't seem to know a lot about chains and links. He said quite recently, you know, the weakest link is the strongest part of the chain. The weakest link is the strongest part. Listen to the program. This is the
The weakest link in Gaisuko's chain today is Sesnarain Singh.
Listen to him talking to workers at Rose Hall recently. Listen.
Sometimes you gotta give, and sometimes you gotta understand what you're doing. Okay?
It's gonna be up in a sec.
The weakest link
Sesnarain
is the strongest part of the chain. I understand what you're saying. The weakest link is the strongest part of the chain. At this point in time, as Guyanese, I have to stand up because we all are expected to get rid of it. You all know what happened here. I mean, especially those that were here. And this has got nothing to do. I'm not here, I'm not a politician. But what I want you to know, something bad happened on this road. Very bad. And this is what we try to correct that injustice with this party. This destiny.
Hey, don't bother with him. He's a big-time politician. When he feels that people gonna buy lies like that, all them sugar workers he talking to know that he's a big-time politician. And because of his political work in that 2020 campaign and all of that for the PPP, that he get that work. He didn't want the work since AFC time, and I had to ask him what he know about sugar.
clearly doesn't know much.
He know nothing about it. But
Really?
he's gonna get a salary, and he's gonna come off and say, well, you know, this is what was the reason, and that was the reason, and it's all false premises and false reasoning. Sugar does not have a future. And that is why at the national conference, in my speech, I said two great economic decisions the Alliance for Change APNU government made. APNU AFC government, coalition government. One was to right-size sugar because it was sucking up our money. And you got to stop the sucking up. And the other was to sign that production agreement with all its imperfections. It is the greatest economic decision because it has made Guyana the honey pot. Everybody now coming. And of course, they had said that they're going to renegotiate. Well, let them renegotiate. I will be the proudest Guyanese of this present government, Irfan Ali government, if they renegotiate and they get more monies. Because it would mean that they stood on our shoulders. We got the agreement signed, and they have gone and get better. But no, they don't want to. They fool the Guyanese to get in power. Now that they get in power, they don't even want to renegotiate. They don't want to renegotiate nothing. They don't even want to renegotiate the environmental aspects, which we had got Vince Adams to strengthen, like the flaring and all of that. You understand me? So understand the context here. We did great in our administration. What they're doing today just can't compare. And now, when you got compare Sue Gate, I don't think we ever had anything like that. And thank God it was not a reporter that was local, because if it's a reporter is a coalition or a man or whatever, This is a white girl, Ayodel. What's your name? Ayobel?
Isabel Young. Isabel Young.
Yes, right. And he catch them. She did it so neatly and catchy, straight up. I like that part where the man, Sue? What's Sue? Oh, Sue. Boss, the thing make a laugh because he got caught. That is like the pinnacle of a piece of cross-examination, and your face gets so. And then afterwards, trying to, the thing is, he was hopeless.
Piece of brilliance. Khemraj, as you said, corruption is very serious. As we wrap up our discussion, it's very serious. In Malawi, the president there took a very, very strong stance against corruption. His vice president was named recently in a corruption probe, and some other ministers. Yes, sent all of them packing. I want to share some of that footage with our viewers and have you talk about that and juxtapose that against where we are. We talk the talk here about transparency, about anti-corruption and all. We talk the talk. When it comes to walking the walk, it's something totally different. Take a listen.
Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera on Tuesday
take a look.
relieved his Vice President Salus Chilima of all delegated powers after the latter was named in a massive corruption scandal in government contracts already implicating several senior officials. The announcement follows a new report by the Anti-Corruption Bureau, which is investigating British Malawian businessman Zuneth Sattar on suspicion of corruption, fraud and money laundering. Several ministers and former ministers have already been arrested in connection with the case. The Malawian president also suspended his chief of staff and the country's police chief.
Corruption comes in many forms, and the opportunities to succumb to it in this country abound. But you must resist it at every turn. Because if you do not follow the law will follow you. And if you think that I will use my office to save you from facing a law you have broken, then you are gravely mistaken. You are here to serve, not to rule or boast. Occupying high office is not a license to act high and mighty. The people of Malawi are your bosses, not your subjects.
That seems everything that Irfan isn't.
That is extraordinarily articulate on the issue. That is a brilliant piece. You should send that to Irfan Ali. Send it to Irfan Ali immediately. Because that is how you must govern. That is exactly what you must do. And send that same Jagdeo packing. He had sent the great Janet Jagan packing. That lady come down from that central committee room and start cry downstairs when he called she a private citizen. For nothing wrong that the lady did. Look what he do.
And you said she never went back to the PPP since that.
And she never went back. She let me just put on this light. Make my light blow here. We getting some problems this evening. But the whole point of it is that is a classic piece of principle governance by the Malawi president. When you do not want to follow the law will follow you. You know? And with, the Jagdeo should know that. I think he's smart enough to know that. But his party members, we must play that tape of what the Malawi president, and they like to talk bad thing about black people, That same people there. Oh, they're very ethnocentric. Oh, the proper like for bad talk black people and so on. Watch that African leader, what he did there. And that is exactly what should be done now by Irfan Ali. And stop this nonsensical decline. Zooming down. Last year alone, we got 2 steps downwards on the Transparency Institute's index.
Yeah.
This year, because of that, we're going to go down. You rest assured about 5 more if indeed Irfan does not take steps. Irfan must take steps. Otherwise, our perception index will go lower. And a lot of people, I am warning, because when people see the top leaders like that, they're doing this skullduggery in the house, they're going to forget to.
Yeah.
And say, well, what's wrong with me? What make me can't do that? That is
We
why you
just
got to
start
live
sucking.
the examined life. You got to be totally careful. Yes. And this is terrible. So it will have some tremendously bad impacts on Guyana. You
Very
hear
much
me?
so. Yes, sir. Very much so. Very much so. Khemraj, that's going to do
That
it
is
for us again.
basically the position for lessons learned. No. I am saying for lessons learned, we should have a probe and an inquiry.
Very well, sir. Very well. But I hope right sense prevails. Good sense
You there?
prevails. And I hope that Irfan Ali does the right thing. Khemraj, thanks very much for coming through this evening, sir. Thanks for coming through this evening, Khemraj.
Thanks very much for having me here, Sharon.
Great. Folks, that's our program.
Good night.
That's our time. Thanks again, Khemraj Ramjattan, Leader of the Alliance for Change, Member of Parliament, Shadow Minister for Agriculture. Folks, that's our time. That's our program. Again, we apologize for the very late start we had, trashing out all of these technical issues. We want to give you some semblance of a good program. And thanks for staying with us. Paulette Greaves, hope you guys take the opportunity before you go to share the live. Smash that emoji button as well. We got 4,000 plus folks watching us live from around the world. We're tremendously privileged, folks. Go ahead and have a great weekend. We're going to see you guys back here with our podcast tomorrow, our podcast on Saturday, and back to our full lineup of programs from Monday again, guys. Great to have had you here for the last week. Have a great evening. Pace and power. That's how it's going down here, folks. Before you go, share that live stream. Thousands of you are still with us. Do us that big favor, guys. Send us off on a high note into the weekend. Share the live, smash that emoji button, guys, and remember to partner with us. Can't do this work without you, great folks. We just can't do this work without you. The people will be available via Zelle, Cash App. We available via, what is the other one? We have PayPal, MMG, Western Union, MoneyGram. You need to know, folks, you need some more guidance. 627-6963. That's our WhatsApp number. WhatsApp me, 21st century. 627-6963. We'll be certain to tell you how. Thanks for joining us all week, folks, and this evening as well. Smash that emoji button. Share the live, folks, and partner with us. That's our program. That's our time. Stay safe. See you guys tomorrow at noon.